Hello and welcome to The Tech Boy, this week in
Everybody,
Tech Podcast.
and welcome. Hello, everybody.
Hello and welcome to The Tech Boy, this week in Tech Podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tech Boy this week in Tech Podcast. I have a lot to share with you today. We have FRC competitions. We have the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra, and our cybersecurity podcast from last week went semi-viral. And also, I'm a meme, which is amazing. Anyway, let's get back into the Tech Boy right now. So, as you can see here, we have FRC switching to Wi-Fi controls, and I'll just give you a summary of the article because I want you to read this. But also, something very exciting came from this article, and it's showing how Google Bard can be used as a study tool. So let's get into it. FRC switched to Wi-Fi controls in 2009, and I delved into the history of the type of controlling systems that were used in the 1900s. In fact, in the first competition, this one you see here in 1992, which is in a cornfield, they used wired controls and then switched back to the Motorola, I think it was the RNet system, in 1993. Full details are in the article right there. In the next article, we talk about the Galaxy Book 3 Ultra, which is Samsung's latest Ultrabook, which is set to compete with the MacBook, apparently. It has the color calibration on screen. Screen gets to about 400 nits of brightness, seemingly gets higher in HDR per some of the sources. The ships with Windows 11, I think regular mode, and it can support Linux as well, because, running off the hard drive, SD card, whatever. Probably dual booting. And of course, you get Windows 11, WSL, Windows subsystem on Linux support, which will allow you to get a terminal on device. It has a 16-inch, 16 to 10 aspect ratio. Now, I know that there's some fans out there with the 3:2 aspect ratio out there. I think that's like the Surface Duo's aspect ratio. So I know this might be off-putting for someone, but it has a 120 times a second screen, 120 hertz. That's refresh adaptive, so from 120 to 48 hertz, just like on the Samsung Galaxy S22 Plus. And then you also get a 3K touchscreen, which is pretty fair enough. And then you got a good chip, the Intel i7 or i9 13th generation chip, which be a 3-year upgrade over what I have now on the Samsung Galaxy Book Flex Alpha. The screen is not touchscreen, sorry for that correction, but there is a touch model and they were slightly lower specs and different GPU. Tell me if you want an article about that in the comments. And my cybersecurity tips and tricks podcast, which lasted well over an hour. Thank you guys for watching that podcast. But today I want to talk about I think Google Bard is really, really impressive. You can use it as a research tool. I used it as a research tool in the FRC thing. And let me just show you it right now in 3, 2, 1. All right, so I just asked it a question yesterday, and it was, what is the instead of having to search this online, let's go here, let it generate a response for me. And here we go. It says FRC first added an autonomous mode in 2003 game Snack Attack, blah, 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 blah. And it cited its source first wiki, github.io, autonomous mode, meaning you can correctly verify Google Bard's response, which is really interesting, really important, and really good. So now I think Google Bard is a good research tool. It cites its sources, it's using data from Google, it's up to date with the internet. All good. And I know that some people are afraid of AI, but I think that this tool is legitimately good for research. Now, of course, there may be a few inaccuracies, like it wasn't like also in 2019, I think. Anyway, back to the Tech Boy. Here we go. Back to the cybersecurity tips and tricks podcast. Thank you to Shifty Eye Shady for coming on to the podcast, and thank you for reading these articles. But I mean, I forgot. KaiOS not launched, but I wrote an article about KaiOS, and Twitter changed its logo to the Doge dog, and apparently I was able to get some information on this from various tweets, and it appears that it's only in the web version of Twitter, which is why I got it on the browser of my phone, but people in the app weren't seeing it. That is might be in line with the people seeing the no soup for Knowles poll here. 59.7% seeing the bird, 50.3% seeing the Doge dog, and I think it switched back to the bird recently. And Samsung, of course, released A54. I want Samsung. Oh, open letter to Samsung. Yeah, I didn't get into this because of the cybersecurity podcast, but here we go. Open letter to Samsung's. I want Samsung to become more innovative. As you can see, Samsung's, well, I guess you can't see this, but as some of you guys may know, Samsung's profit started dropping around maybe S9, S10 days, right? But now they're really crashing badly. I mean, year over year, it's been getting continuously worse. And what do we see here? Starting from the Samsung Galaxy Note 10, if we disregard that A series phone, A80, I think, that didn't have a headphone jack. But starting from, because back then I think it was more experimental, but it doesn't matter. Starting from Samsung Galaxy's Note 10 series, you removed the micro SD card slot from the Note 10. Thankfully, it was in the Note 10 Plus, so that's fine. But there's no headphone jack there, which didn't make sense. My logic back then, I didn't have disrupted. My logic back then was like, if you're going to put a hole in the phone, for the S Pen slot, right? I mean, might as well just drill the headphone jack in there as well, right? But you're not going to put an S Pen slot in there and not include the headphone jack, but you didn't do that. Follow up, at least the Note 10 had the 3D TOF scanner, which I played with a little bit. 3D scan someone's face, it was nice. But then you have the S20 series, continues to trend, right? S10 series had the heart rate scanner, it had the headphone jack. The S10 Plus 5G had 5G, 6.7 inch screen. Honestly, Samsung's first Ultra phone just wasn't called Ultra. Then you have the S20 Ultra bringing 100 times zoom, so like the K zoom, but better. But losing the headphone jack, at least it still had a micro SD card slot. Then for the Note series, the last Note, you had the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, which is we called A71 5G stylus and a better processor. That's basically what it was. Oh, and better cameras. 6.7 inch screen, no micro SD card slot on a Note, which is like, it's their budget Note too. And then you have the Note 20 Ultra, which limited the zoom. It took from the S20 Ultra's 100 times zoom to 50 times zoom, which I don't know why. Then they switched from the TOF scanner or from the S series and the Note 10 series to the laser autofocus scanning. Like, oh, that's right, but that means no 3D scanning. There's also no heart rate scanner there on the back of the cameras. There is no headphone jack on the Samsung Galaxy Note 20, and that is the last Samsung phone, premium Samsung phone that is made with a micro SD card slot. And then you don't have the micro SD card slot on any of the Fold series. I don't care about the flip. No, it's a fashion phone. It's really skinny, whatever. But not on the. It's $1,900, $1,799. Samsung's just continuing to remove features. Then with the, I think it was the S21 or S22, they removed MST for magnetic stripe payment of the credit card terminals, which means you now have to use dedicated NFC payment. Which Samsung, look, here's S22 Plus, right? Okay. The only thing that's really different in aiding it from any other random phone on is like Samsung Dex, which some people claim Motorola Ready 4 is better than already. Which I don't know, I've never used it. But like Samsung Dex is differentiating us from like Apple and like Nokia, whatever. But like if you ask me, in 2019, tell me 10 things that differentiate the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus from, say, let's see, what was iPhone, like iPhone 11. Oh, it would have been quick. Okay, S10 Plus, triple camera system, optical zoom. You have reverse wireless charging. You have a headphone jack. You have USB-C. And even the S10 Plus removed the iOS, the infrared scanner, not the IR blaster, but the iris scanner, sorry. But you still got the dual selfie cameras on the edge over there. You also have the headphone jack, USB-C, dual selfie cameras, reverse wireless charging. That's already 4 right there. Let's see, optical zoom, but we're not going to pick that because it pickup is Pro, so that's basically comparable. Let's see. Samsung Dex, that's a feature there. Samsung Secure Folders, Samsung Bixby. I'm going to be fair and not be like, oh, Samsung Canon, Samsung, because these are actually exclusive, decent Samsung features that are being, updated. Oh, the in-screen fingerprint scanner, that's good. That's good. It did have face recognition. I also had face recognition. What did the iPhone? All right, two more things. Yeah, so the fingerprint scanner is ultrasonic. Pretty high, but pretty sure that bigger battery. Yeah, definitely bigger battery. And the micro SD card slot. Oh, and the heart rate scanner. There are 11 things that I can name. Now, if you ask me to name like 10 things different about this, S22 Plus, then the like iPhone 13 Pro. It would be like, okay, there's an in-screen fingerprint scanner, there's secure folder, Bixby. Okay, so we've got the software features, but there's no heart rate scanner, no micro SD card slot. It does have USB-C. It does have DeX. So it's more of a software feature thing that Apple could do if they wanted to. If Apple switches to USB-C next year with the iPhone 15 series, right? They could easily add a desktop mode, but they wouldn't. But they could in a software update. Apple has their own virtual assistant Siri. They could add their own AI features there. But they could make their own secure folder. Be pretty easy to do that. And they could add an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner, which they probably won't. But there's only one hardware feature that Samsung has over the iPhone. Understand? Samsung does not need to be removing features from its premium Android devices. The A54 series, unless you miss the wide, like it has a big battery, it has micro SD card slot, and that's what I'm saying. They removed the headphone jack, but I don't understand what Samsung is doing here. What are they gaining from losing features of Samsung phones? Let's look at the LG V60, which everyone's talking about because it's got its last Android 13 update, released 2019, I think. You can find it for $200-$300 on eBay right now. Right? The LG V60. And I guarantee you, LG would have kept doing this. They had it consistent. The LG V62, $99 with dual screen case and 5G. 128 gigabytes plus micro SD card slot. Probably a nice big screen. I have no idea why Samsung's making their phones so narrow. Sure, it may be easier to hold. It may be easier to swipe and do your TikToks. But goodness, I want to type on this phone. This is supposed to be a phablet. One of the things that is really annoying is when people are like, oh, my goodness, the iPhone 12 and 13 mini is as big as the Samsung Galaxy Note. No, it's not. No, it's not. Samsung Galaxy Note, original Note, had a different aspect ratio, meaning it was wider than the Mini. Also, the Note had bezels. The iPhone 12 mini does not. So, there's that. Anyway, if you look at this phone, you have a Snapdragon 8 series processor, which is going to be miles better than any Exynos 750 or 785, whatever 7 series processors you get in these mid-range phones, right? You get dual screen case support. You'll be on Android 13. You get stylus support, apparently. You got like a pretty decent set of cameras here. This is the Creator series. I think that's you got the heart rate scanner here. If you're looking to compare this. That is an ugly looking notch, but whatever. If you were to compare this to Samsung's Ultra series, right now, one of the best-selling Ultra series, S23 Ultra, both phones have stylus support. Both phones have about the same size screen. Both phones have great cameras. S23 Ultra is obviously going to win that division. And the stylus support's better because it's integrated. But this phone is like, you could buy 4 of these phones from this seller with the dual screen case. Now, obviously, this is not a endorsement of the seller, but I'm saying you could buy 4 of these phones with a dual screen case. Maybe get a charger in the box. I don't know what comes in the box here. For the same price that you could buy a 256 gigabyte S23 Ultra, no charger in the box. Probably in 23 you won't even get a box. Come to you in a like biodegradable bag. Like, I'm pretty sure the cameras here are enough for most people. Dual screen case. Dual screen case. And I know Samsung's not going to make a dual screen case for their phones. It's just not going to happen. But Samsung needs to give us the option to have super powerful phones like this. And honestly, if LG was still in business, I would seriously consider switching to LG. Honestly. I would consider switching, not switching to LG like switching my phone to LG, but switching to becoming an LG fan. I didn't used to be an LG fan, but I think I would become an LG fan. This is honestly embarrassing for Samsung, and they need to get better, and they need to do it fast. Or else Apple is going to be over here beating them. And yeah. So if any of you have any questions about Google Bard, Samsung Galaxy Book Ultra, Wi-Fi controls, and FRC, be sure to leave them in the comments of this video. But honestly, Samsung, get better, do better, do your job. You're supposed to be anti-Apple. You're supposed to be different from Apple. But honestly, what you're doing here is copying Apple, throwing one UI on it, and then just having marginally better features like a S Pen, 100 times zoom, DeX on your flagship phones. But not including features that people want on your $1,000 phones, like micro SD card slots, when you can literally walk down the street to Walmart and find a phone that supports that. That is pitiful. And Samsung knows people want that. Samsung knows what people want. That's why the A series, apart from price, is one of the best selling Samsung series. Yes, everyone's not going to buy an Ultra, but it shouldn't be this bad. Samsung needs to get better. Samsung. So this is my Samsung wish list. First of all, make your screens wider. Okay, please. Second of all, your S20, S21, S22, and S23 events were all about the camera. You're not Nikon. You're not Canon. It's a phone. Sell it like a phone. Make your screens wider. Add more lifestyle features that people want. Keep the camera features, and you'll do better. Honestly, if you want a phone, and second of all, your screen isn't WQHD on your 799 S23, whatever, because 6.2 inch screen is kind of small. But not on the Plus and Ultra models. Even when OnePlus is doing that for $699, Samsung, this is unacceptable. Do better. God bless, and tech talk to you later. Bye.